Jonty, quick on the draw there. Good to see you guys have joined this conversation. Welcome, guys. I thought I'll just very quickly introduce the two individuals I'm going to be chatting to today. Knowing Jonty, it's definitely going to be an entertaining conversation. I'm speaking to Jonty Bozas and his brother David, both of whom have decided to spend 20 days in the African bush raising money for Rhino in South Africa. And essentially what is happening is that there is a surplus of rhino in a private game reserve called Manyoni. And they are raising money for the Zululand Conservation Trust to move these rhino to another area which is run by, which is also a game reserve, which is run by a community. And essentially they need rhino desperately. And these guys have decided to leave their families and spend 20 days in the bush to raise money for the Zululand Conservation Trust. So we're going to see if we can get both Jonty and his brother David on the line here and see if we can hear a little bit more about the adventure. I'm sure it hasn't been all smooth sailing, and with a bit of luck we won't have any problems with regards to the connection. There they are.
How's it going?
How are you guys?
Good, and you?
Yeah, very lekker. Yes, it looks like you've got a sweet camp set up there behind you.
Yeah, it's this is the green top beach. Anyone's welcome to join us. And we're sleeping in hammock about a week ago. Yeah. Because sleeping on the ground, we were.
Awesome, guys. It looks epic. The line's a little poor. If any of you guys who are tuning in, just let me know if you're having a problem with the audio. But where are you guys currently based? Are you in Manyoni or have you crossed into Somkandla?
We're actually at Manyoni. Is that signal better now? I just changed the station.
Yeah, that does seem like it's a bit better. I'm getting some thumbs up from some of the guys who are tuning in. So guys, let us know if you have an issue with the audio. But yeah, that seems like it's a little bit better, Jonty.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, we're actually on Manyoni. We started at Somkandla, and yeah, flip that. We underestimated the terrain big time because there's another sibling pair. They did Wild Game 19. Got the idea that can we help with something? And they said, oh, we'll do 20 nights. But Amy and Josh did it with very little food, highlighting so many people during this COVID. The bread. And said, well, we're going to do it slightly differently. For us, it was leaving family, but we said we would carry everything. We would carry enough food, and on day one at Somkandla, we were regretting big time. Our legs were it was real tough. David was, I think, thinking back to his army days, thinking, what the hell was he doing? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to that reserve before. We did a dehorning session there once, and I think we moved some lions from Pinda to Somkandla, and I remember the terrain being incredibly undulating and rocky, and there wasn't much in the form of cover, like big trees and things like that.
No, it was tough, and their reserve manager, because we messaged him to say what we were doing, and obviously we had never been there. And so we said, we know we're going to be doing 5 nights, give us like a cool route. And that meant give us the Hell March. And our first day, so after it was about 12 or 13 kilometers, all we could see coming in front of us was this steep hill. And we were thinking, no ways he's making us, because we know we had to make it because that's where we were receiving our water. And the last part of the day, 300-meter climb, but over 500 meters. I mean, we were bugging.
Broken.
Nothing. No, we were clutching blades of grass to stop us plummeting off the hill. It was fantastic.
Crazy, hey? So you guys have essentially, it must be awesome to be, I don't know how much time you spend together as brothers, but it must be awesome to be experiencing this together. But at the same time, you've both got families, you've left them behind. And I know, you and I, Jonty, share we're in the same space in terms of, we're both guides and obviously felt the full effect of COVID. So you've decided to be proactive, team up and essentially spend the next 20 days in the bush walking for this cause.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a 7-year age gap, but from when I can remember, David and I have been as thick as thieves, side by side the whole time. I'm sure our wives get a bit bummed because we're brothers and best mates. So to come and spend 20 nights together out in such a beautiful place, what a pleasure. Like I said earlier, the toughest part has been leaving the family at home. That's really tough. If we didn't have families, I think we would probably disappear into the bush.
So and in terms of obviously carrying all of your own kits, I mean, what does it look like day to day? Are you guys walking from kind of point A to point B? What is the, for those of you who have tuned in and just want to get an idea of kind of what the plan is? Do you have a base camp? Are you moving from point A to point B? What do your days look like? I know you kind of, you're basically halfway through the adventure at the moment, but paint a bit of a picture for us.
Yeah, so when we started, each reserve manager had like a route for us with different points that we'd move to every day. But after some kind, and also we've realized that, we also want to have some good game encounters. So we find that if we come to an area and it's a good area, we'll set camp for 2-3 nights and explore the area. So we're not carrying that pack the whole time. So we make up camp, and then we'll just take water and like a day pack. And go out and do that. And we found that it's been unbelievably well. Have a more ground by doing that.
And you guys have had some ridiculous experiences. I've seen some videos, and that's another challenge all on its own, in terms of having to post content so that, we can all stay abreast with what's going on. But you guys have had some pretty insane wildlife experiences. I know some Kandla, pumps with regards to, black and white rhino. I saw you bumped into some lions recently as well.
Yeah, it's been tough. It's really not my game, video all this stuff, because often we'll be like following fresh lion tracks, and then David will say, "Bro, do you think you should be filming?" And then I'm like, "Oh, flip, good idea." So a lot of the times I'm a second too late, but it is it's some that has been challenging. So often our campsite we've had to pick not based on the best campsite, but based on where they're people. So some of the nights have been pretty brutal because we picked, very well, but then there's no signal. An exposed point of a hill in a grass where we can't have a fire. Very hard at the moment. Then we just sleep in the pumping wind because we've obviously had to up video. So it comes with its own challenges. But yeah, I mean, had, like I say, a lot of them happen before you can get the camera. But lots of black rhino, really cool rhino, lots have been amazing. The one that eluded both of us, our favorite. We keep we keep trying to move between water points to catch them, and we're literally like a day behind. So where we are at the moment, we're doing spot because there's a red hole about 400 meters from where we are. There's a lot of activity. We've seen some elephant tracks from sort of 2 or 3 days ago. So we kind of hedging our bets. Going to come back in the next day or two.
Awesome, guys. There's a little bit of a lag in the line, but I think we're picking up pretty much like 90% of what's coming through. There are a couple of people asking what we're talking to, and essentially the two chaps I'm chatting to at the moment are brothers, and they have decided to spend 20 days in the bush to raise money for the Zululand Conservation Trust in order to move Rhino to a particular community-based or community-run game reserve. And then I think, again, guys, it would be cool to just get an idea of, obviously some of the challenges that you guys have faced, and also the fact that you're walking in, an area where they're pretty much filled with dangerous game, from lions to black rhino, obviously elephants. Have there been any challenges in terms of, some close calls with regards to wildlife out there?
Yeah. So this is our protection to walking sticks. So that was given to him by his daughter just before, a couple of weeks before.
Yeah.
And then this stick was given to me by a tracker from Pinder, because I went through a phase of I wouldn't let a guest leave without making them a walking stick. We've had we've been close with cubs. Like sort of 15 meters away, fast asleep, and you see the head pop up out of the grass. You puck it up real quick. Black rhino, we had walking through it, and this is such a good area for black rhino.
Yeah.
I saw this, massive tortoise head coming towards me, and I was thinking, what is that? And it took me a while to realize there was a black rhino on the same path as us, also like 10 to 15 meters away. And luckily,
walking straight towards you guys.
Yeah, look, but it obviously had a drink and was just plodding up the hill. We were going down to a water point. And I thought, oh yeah, here we go, because we had backpacks on, so we're not as nimble as we normally would be. Like that's always been the worries with the backpack. So when we started with water and everything, I weighed 35 kilograms.
Wow.
Which is heavy. So David used to be in the army when he was young and could run a gun, and they used to carry a 25 kg bag. And he said so this 35 kilos has been pretty staunch.
We have some cool morning visitors as well. A few times, 2 or 3 times we've woken up and there's been rhino standing 10, 15 meters away from us, kipping, just having a good sniff around. And then we wake like, Jonty. Yeah, then they run off. But we have some good encounters.
Amazing. I think it's such an awesome experience. I think like anyone who's tuned in who, has spent time in the bush, and even guys who are in the industry, like guides, Jonty, like guys we know, I think very rarely have spent so much consecutive time in the bush. And you're probably in a position now where you kind of, you're just you're on like another level in terms of, just being in sync with, with nature and the natural elements. And it must be quite a magic experience in terms of immersing yourself in the bush, because I think very rarely, even if you are doing, a walking safari or a horseback safari, do you ever have, this kind of experience where it's just the two of you, you're incredibly quiet, and you can just have these magic moments in the bush?
Yeah, it's it's been amazing. We've been talking about it. So I'd love to get some of the guests that I've driven before, and maybe not 20 nights, but doing like a proper, like, carry your stuff, sleep in a hammock, have a fire going at night. Because like you say, when you get walking in the day, you know what it's like when you're at the end of your 6-week middle, you stop, you're picking up things faster than when you come to leave. You still sort of, and we had such a cool experience. We were sitting at a watering hole, and just there was a herd of hippos just hanging out, and David and horny eagles. So, cool, let's go have a look. Then we saw a jackal running a bit, and like while we were walking on a bit of earth that looked disturbed, and we spotted a warthog that has freshly been eaten. Like, yes, we were on something, and I went to the patch of earth that I'd seen where lions had dug, and actually pulled the warthog up, and followed the tracks back, and the lions were actually lying at the same waterhole that we were. It was pretty strange, but it is a very, very cool experience. This time of the day, you get into such a routine. Like, we come into camp, sort out your bag,
Make the fire,
maybe a coffee, and we've been eating EPUP, which has been flippin' amazing. EPUP and nuts. Yes, I'm going to become their ambassador. You eat that, and then once the sun sets, you kind of climb in the hammock, and we shoot the breeze, we chat a little bit about the day, but normally by 7:30, we are out.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, it's epic. So today, we had a bit of downtime. We set up a very rudimentary tennis net, and we're playing a game of tennis with our pangas, because we always travel with it. It's even in my pocket,
just in case.
So it's always that, like, where what else do you do but the bush? Like, it's
I love it. So therapeutic, and such a contrast to pretty much what everyone in the world has been exposed to, for the last couple of months. So, I mean, yeah, pretty amazing, and kudos to you guys, and so stoked that you can do it together as siblings as well. That must make it, just that little bit extra special.
No, it's great, and thank you so much for jumping on and chatting to us. It is great. We definitely are under no illusion how privileged we are to be able to come and experience this when, like you say, everyone's been sort of locked up and can't travel and cooped up. So we're very well aware of the privilege that we have. And also, the sacrifice that we had to make, leave families at home, for this great cause. It's also cool because we are out in the bush, so we don't know how the fundraising side is going. So it'll be quite, hopefully, a nice surprise when we get out. Hopefully they've raised enough money to relocate those 20 Rhino, which is what this is all about.
I suppose I feel so undeserved to have such. I'm so amazing wife, children. All the rubbish we give them to pick up. It's just we really miss them, but the motivation that love we have for them is one of the reasons we do this, because we want these things for a reason.
Of course, and I think, again, on that note, maybe it would be just good to reiterate, exactly what you guys are doing. You're spending 20 days in the bush. It obviously is, an adventure, and you're having a very interesting time, but you are making a massive sacrifice, and it's not all easy. And maybe it would be just good to get an idea of exactly, obviously, what the cause is. And we can also obviously channel whoever's following to support the cause and possibly donate to the cause as well.
Well, the initial, I suppose, focal point is getting these 20 Rhino, raising the money to move them from Kanda. I mean, that's the main drive. But I think the back thing is, which me and Jonty spend all our nights talking about, you just realize how integral our communities are, wildlife, their longevity, and bringing land. There's no point in saving species until they extinct. We need to bring in land. We need to do it fast. And as much as this is a success story, there's stories there where guys to halve their herds of not enough space, and so we just are unbelievably entrenched in us the of bringing communities in meaningfully economic, because they hold so much land, which are our.
Guys, there are a couple of questions coming through, so keep asking questions. We'll see if we can get to a couple of them at the end of the conversation. I think, again, just to reiterate, community-run game reserve and the importance of it. We've got so much land available in South Africa, and so often the land use practice is inefficient, isn't it? Land is just sitting fallow, and you were saying that, we've got in excess of rhino in a particular area because of the good conservation practices, and we now can actually accommodate these rhino by working with communities and moving these rhino to community-owned game reserves and other owned game reserves, and essentially increase their numbers. And at the same time, communities can actually also gain a direct benefit from these rhino as well, as a result of opening up tourism. And there's a much bigger picture at play than obviously just moving these 20 rhino.
Well, absolutely. I mean, what it's demonstrating, that communities do have the capability to take the responsibility of this. But also, I think it's, people have to realize we can't look at our numbers of species in isolation just in South Africa. We've got to look across the country. We need to start talking about repopulation, rhino and elephant and other countries around Africa, to where, whether it's been through war or whatever action event has decimated the numbers there. We need our community, private sector, into other governments, because I think there's a lot of will behind this, but we just need the political will. We need the private sector to step up a bit more.
Oh, guys, we're having some gremlins, sadly, with the sound. One or two of our viewers, I guess this is the nature of the game, especially with you guys being as isolated as you are, but shot so much for making a plan, and educating us about, the cause that you're involved in. And a lot of questions came through. There was a question asking if you had seen a leopard. There was a question coming through asking what the fundraising, what the target is. And I think, guys, if you do have questions, just jump onto Jonty's page and send him a direct message, and he'll get back to you with any questions that you do have. But I think just in the essence of reaching out to the current people who are following this conversation, how can we support you guys? I've obviously seen a GoFundMe link, but how can we assist you guys?
So thanks. So the GoFundMe link is in my bio on Instagram. Otherwise, there's a website which I'll put up as well. It's www.zululandtrust.org, and there's a page that follows our whole story, and you can donate through that. These things, we set a nice high target for ourselves, and keeping with the 20 nights for 20 rhino, we set it at $200,000. That figure would not the relocation, but it would allow the area to continue doing some fantastic work with pangolin, with black rhino. So we just thought we would pick it up high, and just sort of aim for the stars type thing. But yeah, check that. ZululandConservationTrust.org. The link to the GoFundMe page is on my Instagram bio. So please check them out and follow. I mean, if you can't donate, just follow. I'm sure some of the videos they might make you smile, or might just brighten up your day.
I see. I can hear you guys kind of like, 4 out of 5. So it's not too bad on my side. I see Kaz Bozas says, hi, Dad and Uncle Jonty, miss you. Layla, Grace, and Ava. So those are obviously your daughters tuning in. But again, guys, I just want to commend you, for me, reaching out to, chaps like yourself in a similar kind of space, and guys who are, just taking initiative and getting out there during such challenging times, and being proactive. We just want to just want to take my hat off to you guys. And what we'll do as well is on our Black Bean Productions bio as well as my bio, we'll just plug in that GoFundMe link into the bios, and hopefully it gets some traction. And yeah, just wanted to wish you guys all the best for the rest of the adventure. I know you still got a long way to go, and we'll follow with interest.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, James.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for doing it. And I hope you have a great evening and drive safe wherever you're going.
Lekker, buddy. I'd way rather be with you guys in the bush than sitting in my hot car. But lekker, guys.
Look at that.
Ugh, that's such magic, eh? I was trying to remember the last time I was in the bush, and it was already last year, which is frightening for me. So I'm itching to get my bush fix. We're heading up with the family to Madikwe now that we're able to travel locally. So we'll have a little fix there. But look forward again to following the progress. And I've got a feeling this isn't going to be the last time you guys are going to be doing something like this. So we'll stay in touch.
Thanks so much,
Thank
James.
you very much.
Enjoy Madikwe.
Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.